well, I am released. It's the day where Tania Medina De Garcia releases me to go back home. When I go to her office with my daughter, I'm still not feeling well. And I notice that there's so much bruising in my stomach. And I just want to also mention that on the last day of my therapy, oxygen therapy, the owner met me there. It was bright and early to get my therapy, and he was the one that was there to receive me. He was so annoyed. He was so annoyed because he saw that I was in so much pain and I was so much discomfort in this spa still. And he asked me, he says, why did they not take this off you? This is terrible. I cannot believe that these nurses are doing this to you. Why did they not take this off, at least for a while, and let this breathe? Let your stomach breathe. Let the area, necrotic area, because it was already becoming necrotic. It was already changing colors. Why didn't they let it breathe? My answer was, I don't know. I don't know. So he was there to administer the last oxygen therapy. So back again to, I'm sorry, it's just so much information and I'm trying to condense it so that it's not so long, but I wanted to give you details. These small details are what's gonna help you understand my sorrow, my pain, my trauma. So on my last day that I'm there, there's a lot of women all over the place, and it's my turn to see Medina. So I go into her office with my daughter, and she gives me the release letter to come back to the States. All the while, she has a room full outside, waiting room full of people, so she's dying to just get me out. She signs me out and gives me the letter. And so I'm back in the States. I'm still not feeling well. A couple of weeks in the interim, let me just wind back a little bit. While I'm back in the States, I'm texting her and I'm telling her that I do not feel well. I'm texting her at WhatsApp, sending her pictures, and she's telling me, no, Barbie, it looks fine. It's a process. This is all a process that you're going through and you're going to be fine. Well, it wasn't so fine until one day my husband comes in through the door and I'm sitting, well, hunched over, not in a chair. And he looks at me and he says, oh my God, let's go, let's go. He was in a panic mode and he tells everyone, let's go. Let's just get our stuff and let's go to the emergency room. So we get to the emergency room and the nurse there informs my husband that if he had waited another day, that I would have died. Everything from that moment on, went really fast. They started IVs, almost the whole room was full of IVs, pain medications, so many other things. They were drawing blood, so much so that they had to admit me. And when they admitted me, I saw infectious disease doctor, I saw a plastic surgeon, I saw, well, it was a whole host of doctors. Where to the point that I was evaluated and they told me that they had no choice but to debrief my abdomen, where the wound was. I can tell you that the decision was hard, but we had to just, we had to make that decision and just go with it because it was necrotic already. It was yellow. It was all different types of colors. It was dead. The the skin tissues were dead already. So they debriefed the area. And when I woke up from the procedure, I can tell you that it was a hole the size of a softball. I was beside myself. My husband, my family, we didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. I tried to just stay positive for them. I was discharged maybe a week after that. And I had to go to another hospital and start wound therapy. That was another painful procedure that I had to endure. My friends, I just want to make clear to you that everything that I'm telling you is my truth. It's my truth. It's my trauma that I live with day in and day out. It replays in my head day in and day out. And I know for a fact that it replays in my daughter's mind, in my family's mind. This is not easy what we're going through. It really isn't. So once wound therapy okayed me for me to see another plastic surgeon to reconstruct the wound, to try and see if they can piece back the area. It took a couple months. In October of 2017 is when I was seen by the plastic surgeon, and he also treated me. He told me I still wasn't ready. I still wasn't ready for the procedure, and then I had to wait for a couple months. This plastic surgeon that saw me, I can tell you that he was very sympathetic to how I was feeling and to everything that I endured. And he told me that he would be with me every step of the way. And he was. So surgery time came to reconstruct the area of the wound. Suffice to say that he did the best that he could with what he had to work with. And I can tell you that the results are still not what I say are picture perfect. I still look like the Bride of Frankenstein. I still need another reconstructive surgery. Now I want to briefly update you on my recent trip to the Dominican Republic. I can tell you that in going there, just by thinking about going there, I revisited everything all over again. The district attorney wanted me to schedule a couple medical evaluations that I needed to get. So that's why I had to go back to the Dominican Republic. So once I am there, we hit the ground running. I can tell you that things were very hectic. First things first, we saw the district attorney, and there were things that needed to be done, and doctors that needed to be seen. I can tell you that when we went to the first doctor for my evaluation, that doctor was not available. Needless to say, we had to go to another doctor that was not available. Then travel to the other side of the island. Turns out that there was a conflict of interest and couldn't see that doctor. went to see a psychologist. I can tell you that that session was very heartbreaking. I had to revisit my trauma, my nightmare, and it was a long session. I can tell you that. From there, the next very day, the district attorney wanted the attorneys to meet. I can tell you from that meeting was not what I expected. I can tell you that nothing was resolved. I can tell you that it's quite amazing on how this doctor retained a lawyer out here in the States to stop me from posting